Trump's administration seemed to have misunderstood the available evidence. We do not find support that paracetamol in pregnancy would cause autism. I think that this is an alarming message and it's an ill-backed message. So in our study, we find that paracetamol does not appear to be a major driver of the risk of autism. We studied 2.5 million Swedish pregnancies, and by having this massive material in Sweden, we're able to account for the reason why the mother uses the medication. So early on, we see a little bit of an increased risk, but the more we account for these confounding factors, the more the risk disappears and eventually goes to nothing. There has been small-scale studies that found some increased risk, but larger scale studies do not support this, including ours, but including studies from Japan and studies from Norway that have been on sufficient size to be able to rule out these risks. This has also been confirmed by independent bodies who have evaluated the evidence, and they all come to the same conclusion that paracetamol does not confer a risk of autism. I mean, I don't listen to politicians for scientific evidence, but it is deeply concerning when politicians use a megaphone to sort of put blame on mothers, just like we did in the 1960s. We were claiming it was the mother's fault that their children were sick, and it was the refrigerator mom. This sounds like the same ideas just spun over and over again. We're pointing the fingers at families who have a sick child, that it must be their fault. They must have consumed something and they're blaming themselves. So we're increasing fear and blame without any scientific evidence to support it. I think this is really alarming. I do not think one has to worry about paracetamol, but it is standard advice. Whenever you need medication in pregnancy, you should talk to your physician or midwife. And this is not only because medications can pose risks for some things, but it's also because your doctor might need to know that you have a severe fever or an ongoing infection. That itself could be of interest. So the recommendation is always talk to your clinician. It is very important, the difference between correlation and causation, because if you look at mothers who consume any type of medication in pregnancy, usually that exposure will correlate with adverse child outcomes. But the reason is typically not the drug. It's typically the reason for why the mother uses the drug. So the underlying severe infection, the fevers, the other health problems for which you might need medication. Now, if you were to just study the medication as it is, it would appear to correlate with these outcomes. But you need to account for the reason that why the mother takes the drug and all the other comorbidities. And if you still see an association with the drug, then that sort of provides some reassurance.